do such a terrible thing?
It has to be.
I think he stabbed himself, dude.
First, he faked his death over the cliff.
What
Then
up,
he torched
guys?
Miss Sands in the garage. He's been hiding in the mansion, lying in wait.
Nah.
Until just now, when he skewered Mr. Bauer with the ice pick, and then smashed the window to make his escape.
He has that Sheila's lighter.
To me in. Ungrateful wretch. I should have never helped him publish that damn book of his.
What book?
It was a book of critical essays on the works of Arthur Conan Doyle. It was called Irene Adler's Sneer. He wrote it himself.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Irene Adler?
He's going to strike again, unless we search the grounds and find him first.
Right.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Huh?
You can search all you want, but you won't find the killer outside this mansion.
What are you
He's
talking
inside,
about?
bruh.
Take a look at that chair. See how it's been slid back in its place at the table? Now, since it's the closest one to the window, I'm assuming that the killer used it to break the glass.
Hey,
And
look,
the glass
there's
is
some glass
stone,
stuck in
yeah.
the legs of the chair. Harley's right. The killer used it to break the window.
So the killer used that chair. What difference does it make? What are you trying to say?
Use
That
your
means
brain.
he's in
if the killer were
here.
making a getaway, why would he take the time to put the chair back in its place like that? I'll tell
True.
you why. The killer probably grabbed the chair with his bare hands when he broke the window, which means that he left behind a pair of his fingerprints. The killer knew the lights would come back on any second, and he didn't want to be caught wiping prints off of the chair. So he put the chair back in its place, and then when all eyes were on Mr. Bauer, that's when he cleaned the prints off.
This guy's got some serious balls.
I don't understand. When the lights went out, we were the only ones in the room.
You're right, Moira. And from that, we can deduce
Marwa.
that Harry Canucka definitely didn't do it. And that the killer has to be one of us standing right here in this room.
If that's the case, then how did the killer know that the lights were going to go out? Didn't you say that you thought a fuse blew, Betsy?
Yes, sir. I think so. When I plugged the coffee pot in, there was a spark and the lights went out. See? Right there. That's where I plugged it in.
Oh.
Check this out. There's a thin wire wrapped around the prongs. Simple but effective. He knew this would short out as soon as it was plugged in.
Huh.
Wow.
He's resourceful. I wonder where he came up with this wire.
He,
Look what I found, Detective Moore.
I think it's a
Had to
guy
have the
too.
package of coffee beans. Could he have used this wire?
Hey, I think you've stumbled onto something, kid. They're exactly the
So-
same.
Who opened
So
the
if we
coffee,
eliminate
Betsy?
other
If
girls,
I'm not mistaken, it was Mr. Bledsoe.
not glasses.
It's funny how things come to light sometimes, like from a bag of coffee beans. So you're the killer, Mr. Bledsoe.
No, why would I want to hurt anybody? Besides, I'm not the only one who was in the kitchen. There were 3 other people.
You
For a second, he sounded like
Don't you remember?
Hercule.
Those 3 all have alibis for the first murder, when Harry Canucka was run over the cliff. Do you expect us to believe that there's more than one murderer running around? No, it had to be you. First you wrapped the wire around the plug, then you went back to the living room and waited for the lights to go
No.
out. It was an ingenious
I don't
little
think it's
trick.
him.
You had the element of surprise on your side. No one was expecting an attack when we were all in the same room. The light from Mr. Bauer's lighter was all you needed. It would have worked out
Okay,
perfectly
it's-
if the boys hadn't tackled Bauer. Isn't
I mean,
that right,
everyone
Mark?
can have a lighter,
Makes
right?
sense.
Not everyone.
But there's something still bothering
Maybe it's not
This
Sheila's.
third attempt is different than the other 2. Wouldn't you agree, Conan?
That's right. In the first 2 murders, there's virtually no evidence.
He knows.
Both nearly perfect crimes that were meticulously planned out and premeditated. They're brilliant, really. But this attempt was sloppy with a clear trail of evidence. It's as if the killer made it up on the fly.
Whoa, Conan.
Oops, was I rambling again? You know how silly
No.
we kids can be.
No.
Sorry about that. You'll have to forgive Conan. He just loves playing
Bro,
detective. He can't help
They're like,
himself. Come on, Conan. Let's leave
who
the
is
adults
this
alone.
kid? He knows. He knows.
He's right on the mark. This kid's not
Come
just
on.
playing detective, he's making brilliant deductions. The only person I've ever known
Come
who
on,
can
Harley.
think like that is Jimmy Kudo.
Yeah.
Kudo? Yes, of course. Now that I think about it, when Kudo suddenly showed up during that last case, I'm pretty sure this kid was missing. And then when
They
Kudo
look too much
disappeared
alike.
again, the kid just popped up out of nowhere.
Come on, bro.
Could this
Yo,
boy
it-
be Jimmy Kudo?
I swear, if he's in the end, he says, "Oh, there's no way he
My
could be." I'm
intuition
done.
is telling me that
Honestly.
something isn't right here.
Hmm?
I'm not sensing any evil in Mr. Bledsoe. And if he's the murderer, then how did he set the garage on fire to kill Miss Sands? And in the case of Mr. Canucka, if it was really murder and not suicide, how did his vehicle accelerate right before it went over the cliff?
Yeah, how do you explain that?
Moira's got a point. Miss Sands' murder case has more or less been solved, but the first one still has me baffled.
What? You mean you figured out how the killer set the garage on fire?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But there are still 4 things
She
that
re-
have me
she reminds
stumped
me of
about
Peter
Mr.
Griffin.
Canucka's murder case. The first is, why did he disappear for an entire day? The second, how did the
Yeah.
car accelerate? The third has two parts. What was that strange sound coming from inside the car, and why was the dash covered with a blanket? The fourth thing that has me puzzled has to do with Mr. Kanuka's body.
Come
His
on,
hands
it's
were firmly clutching the
obvious.
steering wheel, and he was sitting upright in the driver's seat, even though the car was going over bumps.
It's
Now,
obvious.
if Mr. Kanuka was killed well before his car went over the cliff, we could attribute his rigid posture to rigor mortis.
So, what are you saying, Harley?
Rigor mortis
got
starts
killed
to occur
early.
in the body anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours after death. About 9 to 12 hours later, the whole body becomes rigid. After the body goes fully stiff for 30 minutes, it starts to soften. And in about 70 hours,
What?
the rigidity leaves altogether and the body returns to normal. If
Wow,
Kanuka's
that's
body
so
were completely
creepy,
stiff
man.
at 3:30 a.m. when he went over the cliff, he must have been killed between 3:30 and 6:30 p.m. the day before. Which means that Kanuka was killed sometime before we ate dinner. But why would the killer orchestrate such an elaborate and complicated plan? It doesn't make any sense.
He was probably trying to make it look like a suicide. He must have killed Kanuka before dinner and then propped his dead body up in the car, holding the wheel, and then waited for it to become rigid. Then he went to the garage after dinner, started the car up, and made it look like Kanuka drove off the cliff. It's possible. And if I'm right, then the killer has to be one of you who left after dinner.
But if Kanuka was dead, how did his car speed up like that?
Yeah, a corpse can't push on the gas. There's no way.
A corpse?
Maybe that noise.
Could that be it? Is that the trick the killer used?
If it
Wait, what do you
is,
mean?
Then there's only one person the killer could be. But there's still no proof.
Wait a second. I almost forgot. Rachel said that she saw Sheila Sands in the hallway yesterday afternoon acting suspicious. That's
This
when
is
it
giving me a
happened.
headache.
She must have seen something in that person's room.
Yes, that's it!
I've got it.
Ha! I know who the
Oh
killer
my
is.
God. Wait, what?
There's only one person it could be. The psychic is the murderer, Miss Moira Krupp.
What? That's absurd, Detective.
You used your powers to hypnotize Mr. Kanuka and make him drive off the cliff, didn't you?
What an idiot.
He is so lame. I'd better knock him out ASAP. I guess I can't afford to with Harley here. He'd expose me.
True.
Hey, Harley, if it heated up, what would happen to the stiffening process? Would the body get stiffer faster? You're so smart, I bet you know. Huh?
Actually,
Oh, he's-
no,
oh,
I don't
he's
have a
helping
clue.
him out.
I guess I'm not as smart as you think.
Oh, he's
Darn him.
smart.
He's already figured it out. He's baiting me.
He's-
He's trying to force me into making the deductions.
I'll be right
This
back.
is
I have to use
good.
the restroom.
Yeah, me too. I'll join you. What the? Where'd he go?
Good night.
He's gonna.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't even know how to hypnotize people. I'm a psychic, not a magician.
Damn.
Amateur hour is over, Richard.
What did you say?
Give it up. You're wrong as usual. Moira didn't do it. But don't worry, I figured out who did.
You have?
That's right. The person responsible for the 3 criminal acts that transpired at this mansion is you.
Who? Okay. Oh my God, bro.
That's right.
I'm
The person responsible for the 3 criminal acts that
I'm
transpired
so mad
at this
at-
mansion is
that I did horrible in this case.
What? It was me?
not you, you knucklehead. I'm talking about the one standing behind you sweating bullets. Alex Carr did it. He's the murderer.
Wait, what?
What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. I was in the living room when Kanuka's vehicle started moving towards the cliff. Come on, you were there. Don't you remember? And how could I have killed Sheila? I was with all of you when she was murdered.
Bonehead? I thought you said
No.
Oh no, is Harley still upright?
Dad, that's enough, please.
This punk's been giving me grief all night. If he can dish it out, he can take it. Before you start knocking Richard Moore, you better have your own facts straight. You were in the room with Alex Carr when Kanuka pulled out of the garage. There's no
Dude,
way
he's
he
just
could have made
very-
that car move.
At your
It doesn't
management.
seem possible, does it? But that's exactly what he did. With his knowledge of rigor mortis, he was able to use Kanuka's body as his accomplice to put the car in motion. His dead accomplice. And here's how he did it. The night before
Wait.
the accident, the killer murders Mr. Kanuka. Afterwards, he places Kanuka's body in the driver's seat, with his foot firmly planted on the brake pedal. He then turns on the engine and puts the car into drive, yet the depressed pedal keeps it still. The rest is elementary. Before dinner,
Oh.
Alex opens the garage door. Then he waits in the living room for Kanuka's body to soften up again. when it does, the pressure from the foot leaves the brake pedal and the car starts moving.
Wrong-o, afraid not. Rigor mortis doesn't start to leave the body until at least 40 hours after death. You're the one who said that yourself. Your theory has more leaks in it than the Titanic, detective.
But what if the process was sped up?
Huh?
It takes 40 hours for the body to soften under average conditions at room temperature. But if the body is subjected to extreme heat, it would only take about 24 hours.
Do they not see the mouth moving and him just sitting down?
It was around 10 o'clock the night before last. Let's say that he was killed sometime shortly after that. The car started moving just after 3:30 this morning, around 29 hours later. The time it would take for the body to soften in high heat, which explains the noise I heard. It was the heater cranked up to full blast. If it had been the air conditioner, water would have dripped on the ground just inside the front wheel.
That's why you were checking the ground near the tire tracks to see if there was water from the AC.
Exactly.
Oh.
And it was bone dry, just as I expected. There wasn't one drop.
But any professional could see through that trick just by examining the body.
Precisely. That's why it was part of the plan for Kanuka's vehicle to go over the cliff. That way, the body couldn't be recovered and the experts couldn't pinpoint the time of death.
If that's true, then how did the car speed up before it went over the edge?
It was probably due to the bumpy road. The bumps must have helped to shake Kanuka's foot completely off the brake pedal. And then there was the blanket that was covering the dashboard. It must have been to conceal the temperature readout, which would have been unusually high, around 35 degrees Celsius.
Man, what a plan. If the killer was inside the living room with someone while they watched Kanuka's vehicle as it drove over the cliff, then...
Of course, that's it. He'd have the perfect alibi, wouldn't he?
Now that you mention
I feel like there's a lot of people
when we
missing.
were in the living room together, Miss Sands wanted to go back to her room, but Mr. Carr talked her out of it. I guess he was making sure that he had at least one witness.
That's exactly
This
right.
guy killed
If
his
the rest of us had decided
girlfriend,
to
bro,
call
for a
it quits,
stupid
he would have
book.
been left without a witness and an alibi.
What imagination. It sounds like you've been reading too many detective novels, if you ask me, Hartley. Don't get me wrong, it's fascinating. But there's no proof. It's all just guesswork. I hate to burst your bubble, but there's something that you keep forgetting. I was in the room with all of you when Sheila was murdered in the garage. Now I'm no detective, but it doesn't take a genius to realize that I couldn't have set the garage on fire if I was in the room.
Actually, it was quite simple. With a little help from Sheila Sands herself, that is. All you had
Wait,
to do
what?
was tell her that the home's first edition was hidden underneath the backseat of the car in the
garage.
Well, I don't get it. How would that help him set the garage on fire?
Think about it for a second. Remember what I found when I went out and checked the car? The battery was dead and the gas had leaked out all over the floor.
So she
Put
turned
yourself
on
in
the
Sheila's
lighter
shoes.
to look.
She opens the car door and no light comes on and it's pitch black underneath the seat. What would you do?
If I was
Put
her,
the
I
lighter-
don't know. I guess if I was looking for the book, I would use... Holy cow, now I get it. She did just what I do in a dark spot. She used her lighter to see if the book was there.
Bruh.
It was her
He
own light
actually
that
killed
ignited
his
the gas and caused the fire
girlfriend.
that killed her.
I can't imagine.
What a rotten piece of
horrible way to
shit.
die.
But wasn't she supposed to be the witness who cleared Alex of the first murder? Why would he kill her?
He only needed her there in case the rest of us decided to leave. But as it turned out, there were 4 of us who stayed besides the 2 of them.
Why would he do it? It doesn't make sense. I mean, Sheila Sands was his girlfriend. Why would he kill someone?
Because
he
he's
loved?
evil.
Because she saw right through him. Just because they were going out together didn't mean that she was going to let him get away with murder. Don't you remember? She was going to expose him. She announced to the whole room that she had figured out who the killer was. Alex Carr was shocked and he pretended to follow Miss Sands to the restroom to protect her. But he really went to talk to her about the book and to set up her murder in the backseat of the car.
Even though he killed someone, she still trusted him.
Wow.
I guess she never dreamed that he would kill her too.
He changed her mind all right. She was going for that book, hook, line, and sinker. But how was Mr. Carr able to come up with such a brilliant plan on such short notice?
Good question.
Yeah,
And
too
the
many
answer is
Sherlock
simple.
Holmes
He
books.
didn't come up with it on short notice. He already had it planned. He had intended to use the scenario in the garage with the book to kill someone else, but he decided to kill Sheila Sands instead. You see,
Wow,
the
bro.
original intended victim was also a smoker and also had a lighter. It was Ernie Bauer.
What?
Yeah,
Damn you,
him.
Carr.
Alex tried to use the note that he left at Mr. Bauer's door to lure him out into the garage and kill him. But then, Miss Sands became a more pressing concern. With her out of the way, he had to come up with a different strategy to kill Mr. Bauer, but he didn't have much time. The trick with the plug to create a blackout for a stabbing was crude and extremely risky, but he had to come up with it on a moment's notice.
I see.
Wow.
That's why there was so much evidence on this last attempt. He was winging it.
You didn't go to the kitchen to protect the girls, Alex. You went to rig the plug with the wire. You're the
Oh,
only one who could have
yeah.
committed all 3 crimes. Not only did you kill Harry Kanuka, you tried to kill Mr. Bauer and you murdered your own girlfriend. Where's
Rotten
the proof,
piece of
Mr.
shit,
Junior
bro. Look at
Detective?
that
What do you
evil
have?
ass,
All you
bro.
have are fancy hypotheses, but no hard proof. Not a lick.
This might be the one that
Actually,
we
that's not exactly true. Your
have no
ex-girlfriend
pity
saw
for.
something yesterday afternoon that proves that you're the murderer. It was in your room.
Look, I don't care what Sheila saw. She's not alive to tell about it now, is she?
Question 1. Is Holmes left-handed or
Wow.
right-handed?
Huh?
Question number 2. What is Mr. Watson's
Left-handed.
wife's name?
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Sheila.
Recalling some questions that were on the test. You know, the 1,000 questions we all answered. Don't tell me you've forgotten already.
Oh, he's not a
Yeah?
real
Well,
fan?
maybe you'll remember 241. What did the letter say that Sherlock Holmes sent out to the killer using the code Dancing Man?
Right, I remember. It was a simple message that Holmes wrote in that letter. It said, "Come here at once." Yeah, that was a good one.
That wasn't one of the questions. He made it up.
She's right. What was the question dealing with Adventure of the Dancing Man?
It said, write down all the codes that appeared in the novel Adventure of the Dancing Man.
Exactly. That question is hard to forget because it was one of the most difficult ones on the test. Don't you find it odd that everyone remembers it except for you, Alex?
So, what are you getting at?
Sheila went into your room because she was hoping to cheat on the test. She needed a few more answers. But you weren't there when she went in. You were probably in the garage checking on the progress of the rigor mortis. But before she left, she saw something.
Something that
What?
helped her figure out who the murderer was.
Precisely.
What?
What Miss Sands saw was a blank test. Not one answer had been filled in.
Oh.
Alex Carr didn't bother to take the Holmes test because he knew that it would never be graded. He knew that Kanuka was already dead. Then he pretended to wait with the rest of us all
Damn.
night long for a chance to have his quiz graded by Mr. Kanuka. But how could he qualify for the quiz with a blank test? He was actually waiting for Kanuka's body to soften. Isn't that right, Alex?
Yo, what an idiot.
Oh no.
You
Piece of
you
shit.
piece of-
Beat him up, beat him up.
I don't
Please,
even know
please.
you. Why would you try to kill me and Mr. Kanuka?
Irene Adler's sneer must be the reason. The book you published with Kanuka, it's the only thing linking you two together. It must have rubbed him the wrong way.
What? It's just a book.
You're a Holmes fan. Isn't Irene Adler the one person who was able to outdo Sherlock?
Uh-huh. Irene
Wait,
Adler's
really?
sneer is about the mistaken deductions that were made by Sherlock.
Now I get it. Irene is
Oh, I wanna
sneering
hear
at
about
Holmes,
that.
rubbing his face in his mistakes.
That's true, in Kanuka's book. But Irene would never dream of sneering at Sherlock like that. It's unthinkable.
Damn,
She's the only
Irene.
person in the world who Sherlock Holmes ever recognized as his equal. Don't you see?
I'm in love?
That book was unforgivable. I did it for Sherlock and for Irene.
He did it for fictional characters, bro. He's insane. He killed his damn girlfriend, bro.
Sleepy,
That's
huh?
fucked.
Making all those deductions and cracking the case must have worn you out.
What's that? Oh, that. It was
Oh,
nothing,
shit.
really. Just another day in the life of a brilliant young detective. No big deal.
Man, thank goodness. I did it.
No, he's playing
I was
it.
too close
He's
for
playing
comfort.
dumb.
Conan,
He's playing
where
dumb.
are you? Conan? Now, where did he go?
Bro,
Over
he's
here,
playing
Rachel. Be
dumb.
right there.
Hey,
Dude, please.
you're Kudo, aren't you?
What? No, I'm just a kid. Maybe when I grow up, I'll be like Jimmy.
Don't give me that little kid crap, Kudo. I know it's you. Hey,
Yo.
fancy gadget. So this is how you mimic my voice, huh? I was watching you out of the corner of my eye the entire time.
I
This
ordered
is-
it in the mail.
You're not going to give up, are you, Kudo? Well, I'm not either. I can't explain the body, but the way you talk, your logic, your deductions, it's Kudo. There's no doubt
This is
about it.
But I'm
awesome.
just a little kid. I'm not Jimmy Kudo.
Okay, whatever you say. Rachel, I just had the most interesting chat with little Conan. Now, bear with me. I know this is going to sound shocking, but Conan's
No.
really...
Harley, no, wait, you win!
Yo. This is why you guys like, yo, nah, you know what? I give it to Harley. I give it to Harley. Harley's he's one of the goats. He's one of the goats for Detective Conan. This guy is the first one that actually did it, bro. Yo, you gotta put respect for, yo, that's crazy. Alright, go.
So the poison didn't kill you, it shrunk you. And now you're freeloading off Old Man Moore so you can hang out with the girl you love while you look for the men in black.
I don't love Rachel. We're just friends. She's a typical woman, way too complicated.
No.
Hey guys, I'm glad you're having so much fun together.
Yeah.
Hey Rachel, I was talking to Kudo earlier and you'll never guess what he said about you. He's so lame. He said he couldn't figure you out, that you're way too complicated for him.
Man, what a jerk.
Damn.
Yeah, you got that right.
That was for knocking me out with a tranquilizer, Kudo.
Next, Conan's hit!
Traffic mirror.
Next Conan hint. Oh, that's wait, what? Oh shit. There's hints in the end of the episodes for the next episode? Oh, that's pretty sick, or am I wrong? Whoa. Okay, wait, hold up. Let's look at that again. I want to see this hint. Wait. A traffic mirror. Alright, the next hint, if I'm right, for the next episode, a traffic mirror. I bet. I'm gonna research that. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. This was a great episode. This was a great special. Yo, the two-parters are winning, bro. Like, honestly, those are like the best ones, man. And obviously, the canon episodes, and obviously there's some good ass fillers too. But I can see what, and I'm hoping I'm getting this guy's name right, Harley. Harley's you know what he I didn't like him in the beginning, but I like him, bro. He's really cool. I like him, especially that he's figured it out, bro. That's insane. All right, guys. Now I'm looking forward to him. Hopefully, damn. Now when's yeah, you guys can't tell me, right? When's the next time we're gonna see him? It's probably gonna be a minute, bro. But whatever. Leave a comment if I missed anything. Let me know what you guys thought about today. Low key little Detective Conan marathon for you guys. And obviously I can't do this every day, but I'll do it sometimes. And show me, if you enjoyed it. I'll for sure do it sometimes. So, y'all the best. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Honestly, thank you. I love every single one of you. And thank you for all my new subs. Welcome. And yeah, we got something special going on here between each other, alright? So I love you. Till next time. And sorry, I was horrible these past episodes, like these 2 episodes, like I couldn't think. It's probably because I'm sleep deprived. I'm dead. You know what I mean? But trust me, I still love the episode. It's not like I wasn't paying attention, but my brain was just not working. So I love you guys. Till next time.